The First Nation, the 634 First Nations chiefs and leadership across Canada. We're happy to be here this morning. And as mentioned, being the legitimate national representatives of Indigenous peoples and nations, why are we here? You know, and it's basically coming down to the point that over the past year, it becomes apparent that in some federal provincial forums, there's a bit of a push to try to exclude or limit Indigenous people's involvement in a very meaningful, substantive way. And we're saying that's not acceptable. That's just not right in 2017. That as Indigenous peoples that we're trying to be excluded, whether you're talking about a health accord between the federal government, provincial governments, whether you're talking about a national environment, climate change strategy, or even a national energy strategy, Indigenous peoples need to be at those Fed-Prov tables in a very meaningful, substantive, real way. So if it becomes apparent that in some cases, certain provincial governments try to limit our involvement, we're saying that's, again, not acceptable in 2017, especially as Indigenous peoples, and you have Section 35 of Canada's Constitution, which recognizes existing Aboriginal and treaty rights. And I've always said this before, that one of the most fundamental basic rights we have as Indigenous peoples, we're not ethnic minorities. We are Indigenous peoples with the right to self-determination because we have our own lands. We have our own laws. We have our own languages. We have our own identifiable peoples, and we have our own identifiable forms of government. So that inherent right must be respected. Even more so when we have this strong tool now called the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. That must be respected and given life and breath. And so our meaningful involvement at all federal government, provincial government tables is necessary to bring about a better Canada, to bring about better, stable economies, right in every province. Because, again, you start talking about free, prior, and informed consent, the duty to consult and accommodate. You start talking about energy developments. You start talking about mining, resource developments. You need our peoples at those tables from start to finish on any project because we always find that balance between the economy and the environment. That's on one piece. When I think about it as well, if there's any way that governments, provincial governments are trying to sideline or segregate our peoples, we're saying again, that's just not acceptable. We need to have the collaboration, the cooperation, and the respect as Indigenous governments, Indigenous nations. Now I know, again, as mentioned, the federal government has shown leadership. We're hoping and praying and expecting that the premiers as well and their governments will show that same leadership as well. Now, it's been said again, this is just not a boycott of the Council of Federation. It's just something we're not showing up at. And we're trying to make things better going forward into the future. That's why we're doing what we're doing today. As both the Métis Nation and the ITK, the Inuit, and the Assembly of First Nations. I mentioned before we have 634 First Nations across Canada. I'm from a small First Nation called Little Black Bear. And the people are above the Chief and Council because everybody elects the Chief and Council. The core be our decision. Everybody elects our chiefs. So they represent all their people, on reserve and off reserve. Then we belong to an agency, and then a tribal council, and then a PTO, and then AFNs on the bottom. But we do represent the nations and the Indigenous peoples. And so that structure is there. There is a legitimacy to that. And we want to keep moving forward on that. My last point, again, would be simply to say it's value added when you include our peoples in a meaningful, substantive way. When you start talking about the economy, the environment, the health accord, climate change, whatever it is, we don't have to and we should not have to fight to be at those tables. It just makes sense because everything we just talked about impacts on all Canadians, all provincial residents, but Indigenous peoples as well. And even, for example, you start talking about climate change, The Indigenous peoples are the first to feel the effect and impacts of climate change. And it's our elders and our knowledge keepers that have the answers. So again, the need for full inclusion and the involvement. And so from our Assembly of First Nations, we've even asked again, when the premiers come together, that one, they should build a respectful relationship with Indigenous leaders in their respective provinces and territories. Whether you call it bilateral, whether you call it Tier 1, Tier 2, but the chiefs should have access to the premiers and their cabinets on a regular basis. I've asked for full involvement of our regional chiefs as well, from across Canada, because I got 10 regional chiefs, respective of each of the provinces and territories as well. And then things that we work on, things like changing the curriculums so that there's better outcomes for First Nations people, Indigenous peoples, teaching about treaties and Aboriginal rights, teaching about the impacts of residential schools, teaching about the impacts of the Indian Act. That has to be taught. Our treaty relationship with the Crown. Talking about the importance of Indigenous language revitalization, very important. Talking about creating an economic base that's stable with our full involvement and inclusion and the respect for free, prior, and informed consent on any resource development. So the list will go on and on when we start talking about why we need to be there at those tables. And so again, this is just a respectful way of saying, hey, let's work together in a very truly respectful manner, respecting Section 35, respecting that there are other orders of government rather than just federal, provincial governments, but there are Indigenous governments. And if it's in Section 35 and we believe it's there, then we should be treated as such with that same respect. And that's why we're doing what we're doing, is making that statement. So thanks very much for listening.